What's up, guys? It's your boy Santos the Destroy, and I'm back at y'all with another What If, part 2 of What If Naruto had all of the Biju. Now, for a quick recap, we last left off after Naruto pretty much single-handedly prevented the Konoha Crush from happening. Third Hokage is still alive, so with Third still being alive, I believe in his battle with Orochimaru that he would have recognized his growing age and just basically stepped down as Hokage, even though he was still really, really powerful and in the prime of his life. So I think he would have tried to pass that on to Jiraiya, but knowing Jiraiya, he had to manage his spy network and now pretty much train Naruto. I think he'd still decline that offer from the third Hokage, so Jiraiya would still go out and find Tsunade, but this arc would be so much easier to handle than in canon because there's no Orochimaru there, there's no Kabuto because they're still recovering their strength after that failed Konoha Crush. So Tsunade basically still makes the same bet with Naruto, except Naruto masters the Rasengan much, much easier than he did in canon due to the fact that he was trained very harshly from Danzo to be a weapon for Hidden Leaf, so his chakra control is it's not insane, but it's much, much, much improved from canon. So he's able to do a single-handed Rasengan relatively easily after training for the same amount, which was around a week, I believe. So they convinced Tsunade to go back with just the normal way with the bet to become the fifth Hokage. I do believe that Tsunade would watch Naruto's training and see the same determination that her brother Nawaki and her lover Dan had, and would still give him the necklace, even though I doubt it would do much if Naruto went on a full all nine Biju rampage, but the necklace is still there for symbolic meaning. So now we get to the Sasuke recovery mission, Sasuke retrieval arc. I believe this would definitely, most definitely happen as Naruto would be leagues above Sasuke in raw strength, and especially due to the fact that all the Uchiha are gone and Sasuke really doesn't have anyone to look up to. Sasuke would definitely go to Orochimaru, and it would take little to no convincing from the Sound Four to take him. But now the only difference is, with when the Sound Four goes, Naruto would be Naruto that would alert Tsunade rather than Sakura because he'd sense like the chakra of Sasuke just leaving the village because he'd see Sasuke, well he wouldn't sense it and or see it because of Fu, he'd probably see Sasuke like leaving or something. And then the team is still formed, Shikamaru still leads it, except this time just body. But like they'd have to do the Sound Four would have to do everything in their power to just stall Naruto for as long as he can. Because Naruto can pretty much one shot at this point any member of the Sound Four, maybe the exception of Sakon and Ukon, just given the nature of their abilities. But Jirobo is turned into fodder, Kidomaru, fodder. I mean, Naruto could speed blitz both of them. Either he would either just cook, he would use acid bubbles from Saiken, or he would just blow them away with the power of Yuki because I think he could just form small-tailed beast bombs in his hands at this point, just due to the fact with how long he's been training with certain tailed beasts. I think he could form like a compact tailed beast bomb in his hand, kind of like a Rasengan, but it's much more deadly than the Rasengan because it's like a tailed beast bomb and has tailed beast chakra in it. So he body bags Jirobo, Kudomaru. Sakon and Ukon are a bit harder given their nature of the separation and then their healing abilities. But I bet he would just leave that fight to just like Kiba, maybe the maybe like the rest of the team except for him, Shikamaru, maybe Neji. And then to Yuya would be Shikamaru, Neji. And I just see no situation where Tayuya can defeat both Shikamaru and Neji with Shikamaru's long range attacks, or medium to long range, and Neji's close quarters taijutsu. I just don't see a situation where she can trap both of them with Genjutsu, given how fast Neji is and his Byakugan can see through like deceptions and stuff. And they're both pretty tactically smart on their own, and when combined, I think they'd be too dangerous for her to overcome. And then now we have the Kimimaro. Now, when it comes to Kimimaro, Gaara would have never injured Lee. That's something we have to note of because Gaara's not as bloodthirsty because he never had Shukaku, and the sand would not be part of the invasion. And if they were, then Lee would basically just foderize Gaara during that because he doesn't have tailed beasts. So that's just something to make note of. So now Gaara has a lot of respect for Lee, and even without the help of the sand, Naruto with, I believe, what is it, six tailed beasts worth of power at this point is just too strong for Kimimaro. Kimimaro would either die, he'd be just turned to acid, just dissolved by Saiken's acid bubbles, just flat out speed blitzed by using Gyuki Eight Tails Chakra. Um, he'd be destroyed. Isabu the clams, burned apart by Matatabi, just basically pummeled to death using Kokuyo steam release. Just there's so many ways, there's so many disadvantages that Kimimaro has against Naruto that it's just not even fair. And then Sasuke, this fight with Sasuke isn't even a fight. It's a one-sided beatdown. I don't care what you say Curse Mark does. Like there's nothing that Sasuke could do because Sasuke wouldn't know to use a Sharingan on the tailed beast. He wouldn't know that. And the Curse Mark wouldn't help him at all. Naruto would literally, just like he said in the manga and the anime, would just beat him senseless. Sasuke would just be down absolutely horrible. I mean, there's just no situation where Sasuke wins this fight. It doesn't matter what advantages he had in the can. Those advantages are essentially negated because Naruto can speed blitz him, overpower him, more chakra than him, uh, physically stronger. Basically has every single advantage over him because there's a point when he had the Naruto had the Nine Tails cloak on in canon that Sasuke could see Naruto's movements, but the chakra had a life of its own. Now imagine that times like 6. There's no way Sasuke is winning. So Sasuke gets taken back to the Leaf Village, and now we enter the time skip. Sakura would still become a medic because she would just see Naruto would have somewhat wounds on him, and Sakura would bring it up in her resolve to never have Naruto injured again. And basically, over the course of the time skip, Naruto finally earns the respect of Son Goku, the Four Tails, after Son Goku saw how noble his cause was to retrieve Sasuke. He started gaining Kurama and Shukaku's respect, even though they're less likely than Son Goku to give their chakra to him. So they give their chakra to Naruto only as a last resort, like only if Naruto is going to like die, but it's never come to that point. So Naruto can basically at will access the power of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 tails. 9 tails and 1 tails take a little bit more work, but he can still access them. So basically at this point, Naruto is at god tier levels of power, and basically Shippuden as we know it wouldn't even happen because Sasuke would still be in the village training with Kakashi, mastering a Sharingan, basically still having the same goal to kill Itachi, but he's just mandated under the village, and he can't really leave because Naruto will just beat him up and take him back to the village because Naruto's just massive leaps and bounds stronger than Sasuke is. So now we get to our very first arc, which is the Kazekage rescue mission, which does not happen. This is just now, mind you, the only biggest change in Shippuden would be most of the arcs are just attacks directly on Konoha. But I just see no reason with the Akatsuki coming to the village and not the village going to the Akatsuki that Sure, the costume have the element of surprise, but there's just no situation that I can see that that the team of Sasori and Datara would defeat a six tails, puts a seven-tailed power, potentially nine-tailed, not all nine Biju powered Naruto on his home turf with Sasuke, Kakashi, Might Guy, and just all of them at once. So Sasori can't really give off any information because not nothing is known. There's nothing needs to be known because Sasuke's still with them. So Data and Sasori are just quickly killed off by some combination of Naruto firing a Biju ball or him going into like a V2 state cloak and just bodying them, or going into like lava mode using steam release to enhance his physical power while using lava release to enhance like great burning effect. Any combination of those is enough to kill Datara and Sasori. But so now you could really, this is an important, now you could bring an important meeting with all the village leaders. Since Naruto is so powerful, do you keep him at the village for just to protect it? Or do you send a strike team composing of him, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Might Guy, and his team, basically the Konoha 9 plus Sasuke, to prematurely eliminate the Akatsuki, thereby neutralizing. So it's basically an all-out war against the Akatsuki. I don't think that would happen because it just leaves the village too vulnerable to like Orochimaru and stuff, because he's still a thing. Basically, the Akatsuki want to kill Orochimaru as well as extract all the Biju from Naruto. So that's something that must be considered. So the Tenshi Bridge reconnaissance mission just doesn't happen because it's just not needed. Now we get to the Akatsuki suppression mission, which now you bring the zombie duo to try and get the Biju from Naruto. But again, Naruto's OPness, overpoweredness with having all the Biju comes in again and saves Asuma from dying. So Asuma is there for his children, which means also that an important quality in Shikamaru never really comes out, his acceptance of loss and grief. However, Asuma would probably be nearly dead, but not to the extent he was in canon. So I think Shikamaru would still feel that same heartthrob, but Asuma would be alive rather than dead. And there's no, again, Naruto having all the Biju, there's just so many ways for him to kill Hidan. Speed Blitz. Shikamaru could kill Hidan. Naruto Speed Blitz Kakuzu. He could kill him maybe 10 times over because he just has so much chakra coming out of him. He could blast him apart with a Biju ball, melt him with lava release, crush him with sand, just basically shove a Rasengan down his throat. Rasen Shuriken, he also gets that. So basically, that's where I'm going to end the story right now. Our next arc is the Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant, or the Itachi Pursuit Mission, whichever one you guys want more, I'll do next. That if that was really fast, it's just we have so much to cover through. I'm a Santos Destroyer, and I am out.